I think one of the more embarrassing things that I'm ashamed of is scrolling through my endless list of downloaded games, whether it be on my PlayStation 4 or my Nintendo Switch. I have this really bad habit of buying games on sale and filling up my library with a lot of games that I really do enjoy playing, but I never finish them. And oftentimes it's half-assed in a sense where I get to a certain part of the game, I don't like it. It's not holding my attention anymore. But more often, I think that finishing games for me has become somewhat of a difficult task because I don't have the time. I come home from work, and I would say I don't work now currently a particularly difficult job. I clock in around 30 hours a week, so I'm still part-time. But I still have my responsibilities when I do come home. And really, I don't get time to myself till around 10:30. So putting a ton of hours into a game like Dragon Quest XI is something I find difficult to do. I've tried really hard. It's been a difficult task for me to get into other great Japanese role-playing games such as Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. I really want to play Persona 3 Reload, but I don't have the time, and I'm worried that if I do buy the game, if I pick these games up, I'm never gonna get around to playing them. I pre-ordered the collector's edition of Unicorn Overlord. When I finally did receive it, I opened it, I looked through it, said, wow, this is cool. And then I said, I don't have the time to invest in this game right now. I'm gonna save it for the summer. And so I'm in this loop now where I haven't been finishing my games.
I made up my mind to stay with you. Whether this is real or a bad dream, I'll keep watching you through it. Ready?
So it's Sunday afternoon, and finally my girlfriend's watching me play Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, or Dana. I was trying to figure out what was so special about this game. Meeting Adol and finally wondering why everything is named like in our world but spelt differently. Really getting hooked into that plot of surviving on an island and looking for shipwrecked people. And I really enjoyed the 4 hours I played that Sunday. Work started up again the following Monday. And again, as I said in the intro, finding time to put hours into these long games is a difficult task for me. I can get up in the morning and dedicate a little bit of time to playing games, but in reality, I enjoy playing the games at night. But the thing about that is, by the time I have time for myself, it's too late. I'm tired. I maybe clock in an hour, and I'm off to bed. On a random weekday, I remember my girlfriend asking me why I hadn't played Ys 8 in a while. And she understands the not having brain power to come home and think after a long day, so there wasn't much to explain there other than brain tired. But another thing I noticed was my PlayStation subscription was about to end. My Sony PlayStation Plus Premium subscription. And I didn't want to spend any money on buying the digital game. Well, there was two things to that. I didn't want to spend the money because I didn't have any. I mean, if you didn't work for, a month, during the holidays, you're not going to have any money unless you have like a side job or anything. But I chose not to work. I chose to practice my Metal Gear Solid 2 speedrun, which that didn't last very long. But I was broke. And the second thing was I have a huge collection of games, digital games on my PlayStation and my Switch, and I've kind of been getting tired of buying digital games only. There's something about physical games that either you get or you don't. And I think this is a good time to talk about this now, but sometime over the holiday, I began to convince myself that I needed to start buying my games physically. It's great to be able to buy games digitally on sale for dirt cheap, 70, 50, 60, 90% off sometimes. But the thing that pushed me to pick up physical was I remember seeing like the Microsoft or the Grand Theft Auto director or something. They were basically saying like, hey,
You need to be comfortable with not owning your games.
and that made me very uncomfortable because at some point in the future, unless there's like an EMP blast and it wipes everything out, a blackout, right? I would like the opportunity to come back and finish playing these games. I have a huge catalog of games that I just have. I have the Unicorn Overlord. Sure, if I got it digitally, I could have just picked it up during the summer, maybe on sale. But what happens if it gets recalled and really the only people who have access to those games are the ones with physical copies? So that's been my big worry. I was convinced that yeah, maybe it was time to start going physical. This is why I didn't want to pay for Plus anymore, on top of being broke and not having any money. So I made plans. We were to travel to San Jose, the closest metropolitan city or big city, and we were gonna go to the game shop downstairs. And if you've never been to the game shop downstairs, it's amazing. It's cool. It's a total vibe. I don't know, you as a listener where you're from, but if you're tired of the whole GameStop thing, GameStop is, I think that's as a kid, you go, mom, can we go to GameStop, or dad, or whatever. GameStop kind of just doesn't have what I'm looking for anymore. Personally, this is, I think, a topic for another video, but I also don't think there's a lot of good games, new good games that are being released these days. So GameStop isn't my first choice. I'd rather go to the game shop downstairs and find something new that's been out for maybe 10, 15, 20 years already. So it was decided we were going to venture to San Jose in hopes of finding a copy of East 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, or Dana. But side quest, what does this have to do with East origin? Well, after traveling an hour and some change, we finally pulled up to San Jose. And here's the thing, I didn't know the game shop downstairs closed at like 5. So we literally got there at 4:30. And I was worried that we weren't going to have enough time to look through everything. I mean, gas is expensive now, so I would have been really upset if we would have driven all that way to go look for games that I really wanted to play and I really wanted to have, in my collection, and not even have the time to look through because they were closed or they were closing. We're rushing to the store, and it's crazy because the game shop downstairs is exactly what it is, right? It's a game shop downstairs, but the stairs in this place are steep. They are really steep, and they're kind of narrow, so people coming up and going down at the same time is kind of tricky. You kind of have to like, oof, excuse me, no, go ahead, you're good. You gotta like squeeze through there and let people through, right? And so as soon as you get to the bottom, there's like this thing, I'm pretty sure it's Korean, it says hello, welcome in Korean, and it's the most annoying thing ever, but it stays stuck in your head. I hustle over to the Switch section, and the Switch rack is like behind a counter on the wall. And if you have Switch games, the writing, dude, on the side of the box, like, it's impossible to see. I don't know if I'm just getting old and my vision's giving out, but I couldn't see it. So I'm over there squinting over the counter, like, let's see. And then, mind you, it's like a million games on the rack. So your eyes are just boop, 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 bouncing around everywhere. So one of the employees is like, "Hey man, if you need to step over, like you can come over to this side." And I thought that was really cool. That was for him to be like, "Yeah, dude, like it's fine. You can step over on our side of our space, our side of the space." Made me feel very welcome. And so I did as he suggested, and I started running my finger through the switch rack. Does that sound wrong? I was running my finger through her switch rack. And I got through the whole collection that they had, right? Their inventory. And I was disappointed because I didn't find any of the games that I wanted. And my girlfriend is on the other end of the case, right? The counter, and in the counter it's like a glass counter, so they have like games showcased right there. It's like a jewelry kind of, like, it's like you can see it's like glass. And she's like, "Hey, there's a copy of East 8 Lacrimosa of Donna." So I hop on over, and then I'm like, "Oh dude, cool." And I mean, I put my hand in there, or my girlfriend did. I figured if they were letting me hop over to the other side of the counter that I could pull the games out that I wanted to. No big deal. And I don't know if it was a big deal or not, but I put my hand in there and I pulled the game out and was like, "Oh dude, this game, what? It is $60. Why is it so expensive? Why is it? It's used. It's like I'm paying full price for a used game." And that really turned me off. So I put it back, and I hopped back over to the Switch section. I don't know. I love the Switch. I love my Nintendo Switch. Like, I love buying the games for it. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that, but I was more occupied with the Switch games. And so I start running my fingers through the Switch rack again, and I get about halfway and I find the Langrisser collection, Langrisser 1 and 2. Now, at that time I didn't know anything about Langrisser. I just was like, "Hey, this seems like a good game to get." It seems like it's hard to find. It's a difficult game to come across. And so I was like, "I'm getting it. $60. Boom." And I get to maybe a quarter of the way, or 75% of the way, 3/4 of the way. And East 8. No, it's East Origin. Huh. Wow. East Origin. $30.
Let's go! Santa Cruz! Shout out!
So now I have Langrisser and East Origin. And I hop on over to the case again, to the I keep changing the name for it. The counter with the glass, and they have the games, and it's like a jewelry thing, right? And I'm really considering taking East 8 on the PlayStation 4. And I was doing the math in my head. Mind you, I didn't have any money. I had just gotten paid, but that check was for rent and bills, and the rest of the money was for me. But I hadn't been saving money. I spent a lot of money. I rarely have money. So I'm like, okay, am I really gonna drop like $130? Or what, 150, 60, 120, and then $30, $150 on games. Did I do that math right? Let me see. Let me go back and do that math. Okay. 60 plus, it equals 60 plus 60 equal 120 plus 30. 150. I did it. I was checking my work. So, am I really going to drop $150 on these games? And I'm going to be honest with you, when I do have money, I'm not even thinking about that. But mind you, gas is expensive, and then we're still going to go to a show after this. and then we're gonna get dinner after as well. So I mean, again, I wanted to pay for it. You know, I wanted to make sure that I was holding my end of the bargain when it comes to my girlfriend. I just, you know, I want to be the dude. I want to feel like the badass. You know, like, yeah, bro, I took her to a show and, you know, paid for dinner. I don't know. So I ended up leaving East 8, and we went to this fucking like concert thing. It was really weird. I didn't want to say it at the time, but I was like, this is really corny. It was like this laser light show, and it was like therapeutic and all these things, and you know, it's like breathe in, breathe out, breathe slowly, you are alive. And it's like some of the music was really cool, but I think they could have done better. I don't know. It was a cool experience. I'm not gonna shit on it too much, but we did that. And we went to dinner, and while we were at dinner, I did start playing East Origin because I was like, whoa, cool. Here's the game that I've been looking for, or here's the game that I didn't know I was looking for. And soon after, I didn't even play the game when I got home. I played maybe for like 30 minutes and was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna save this for, you know, tomorrow. And so I started playing East Origin, and I didn't know that the copy that I had gotten, the original on the Switch, was an import. I didn't realize I was sitting on a great game, and the things that needed to have happened for me to get my hands on it. I consider myself very lucky. I wasn't gonna import it. I don't like ordering games online unless I have to. When I was in high school, I would order off Play Asia, mostly the Monster Hunter games. I have Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, or no, Monster Hunter 3G, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter 4G, Monster Hunter Generations or Cross, Monster Hunter Stories, and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance in Japanese. I have a Japanese 3DS. I don't use it as much. It doesn't get that much action these days. But I was not. I haven't ordered a game online. I mean, if you want to count Unicorn Overlord, because I pre-ordered it, that was like the only way. I went to the store and I said, hey, I want to pre-order this game. They go, oh, well, you have to order it online. Well, thanks, dude. I could have done that at home. You asshole. What was I saying? So right, I'm sitting on gold. I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky to be playing this game. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know it. Now I know it. So I'm like falling in love with this game. This game is badass, dude. I've never played a game like this. I guess you can say in like there's like some games that are East-esque or like the combat, but just I don't know, dude. It was new to me, and again, I'm coming from, East 8 was new to me, the 2 weeks before I got East Origin, and I was shocked because I was like, hey, there's no dodging, or there's no blocking, the flash guard and the flash dodge or whatever, the flash roll. And so I did miss that. From East 8. And I was like, well, fuck, maybe I should just download East 8 as a digital, but I wanted to stay true to, my New Year's resolution, if you can call it that. And so I'm playing through the game, dude. I'm burning through this game. It's not a long game. Yeah, there's 3 different characters. There's Unica, and then there's Hugo. And then after you do both of those stories, I think I beat Unica's story in like 30 hours. I did do a bit of grinding, and I want to talk about the grinding. Okay, let me finish what I was trying to say. 30 hours, Unica, Hugo, and then you get the third character. I haven't gotten him yet. I'm just gonna be honest with you there. But grinding was like, I would, I'd grind for like 30 minutes and I'd be up like 3 levels. Now, I know some people might say, oh, well, that makes the game super easy, even if you're playing on nightmare mode or whatever. I don't care. Enjoy the game however you want to enjoy it. I was enjoying the hell out of it. And so this, not having to grind and always feeling behind gave me an incentive. Like, I need to finish this game. This game is fun. I enjoy this game. It's not making me grind. I don't feel behind all the time. I don't feel like I have to do all this extra shit. I can just enjoy the game. I'm gonna interrupt here. On Star Ocean, the second story R, I mean, I don't have to grind as much, but there's something that bothers me about the game. It's a great game. I enjoyed it. But the random encounters, I mean, I know they're not so random because they're you can see them on the screen, but the moving into the arena and doing all that and the battle menu, and yeah, it's very RPG, right? But it takes a lot of time. You know, it does take a lot of time. And that's not a cap. I'm not trying to hate on Star Ocean Second Story R. All I'm saying is that yeah, it turns me off. And the same thing with Dragon Quest 11. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Damn. Okay. See, the thing with Dragon Quest 11, even though I was enjoying it, it was just such a grind. And I always felt behind. And the grind takes time. Sure, there are a few great spots, but I found myself in this repetitive attack, wait for turn, and attack again. You could say that is the grind. The repetition of it, but the difference is when you're having fun doing it compared to zoning out and grinding levels while you're watching Family Guy on YouTube for free, even if you have Hulu. Shout out to my Family Guy friends watching those no-cut 3-hour long Family Guy episodes while they're off to bed. But never once did Ys Origin task me with something so boring and grindy that I didn't want to play it. And this was a huge issue. This is the underlying issue that I have. This is the reason why I have such a huge back catalog. Because a lot of these games make you grind for... Hey, it's gonna make the game longer. You know, Final Fantasy VII, the OG one, the first time that I played it and finished it, it wasn't that much of a grind. I did grind a few spots just because of the boss and stuff. But really, when I sit down and play Final Fantasy VII, I don't play it because of the combat. Though I do like the materia system, I'm not really I'm not gonna go, oh, let me play Final Fantasy VII because I like the gameplay. The gameplay does get a little bit boring. It's turn-based. It you know, it was one of the up and coming JRPGs of its time. What, 1997? So for its time, I think it did really well, and even now it still does. But compared to other role-playing games in the in the same category, Final Fantasy VII, gameplay-wise, it's, I'm probably not going to pick it. The story, I did start playing Final Fantasy VII again with my girlfriend because I wanted her to experience the story, to understand it. We went to Distant Worlds for my birthday last year, and she knew nothing about these games. And so I wanted, to have that moment with her, and that's really all it was. I was just kind of looking for a reason to share Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy as a whole with her. Really nothing interesting happening there with the combat, with the gameplay. So Ys Origin definitely took a different turn, and it left a huge impact on me. So you might be asking, well, side quests, what does this have to do with Ys Origin? But side quests, what does this have to do with Ys Origin? Well, to be frank, I think Ys Origin is my origin story for the Ys series. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but I really like the game, guys. I don't know why. It's new. Sometimes I get worried. I try not to play them as much because I get worried that I'm gonna burn out on them, and then in a week or two or a month from now, I'm not gonna be as excited to play them as I am now. So I kind of refrain from just binging in there. Since I've picked up Ys Origin, I'll talk about this in the next video, but I picked up Ys Origin in... Let me get the receipt. Hold on. Let's see, Ys Origin. My computer is getting hot. Ys Origin and Langrisser. So I paid Ys Origin $30 and then custom amount for Langrisser $60. My total was $98.44. This was on January 27th, 2024 at 4:33 p.m. Okay. This was in January, guys. Since then I now have a copy of East Origin on the PlayStation 4, the physical copy that was sent to me by my good friend Sneak Club, and I also have a copy of East 8 Lacrimosa of Dana or Donna on the Nintendo Switch. I also have a copy of East Memories of Salsetta on the PlayStation 4, not just any copy, the collector's edition. And I recently picked up last Thursday a copy of East 9 Monstrum Nox on the Nintendo Switch. I've burned through Memories of Salsetta. I'm really enjoying it, and I'll get to that in another video. But here I am now. I'm like a madman, just trying to collect all these games, dude. And it's, you know, I think this is a really good opportunity to start my YouTube channel with, even if it's just me ranting into a microphone and my computer's overheating and my dog is licking herself. It's fun for me. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me busy, and it also keeps the interest. It keeps the mystery and enjoyment of playing these games that I've missed out on for 28 years of my life. So that being said, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video or listen to it. I know this is more like a podcast or whatever. Again, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I will be working on more videos. It took me 2 weeks to finally sit down and record the audio for this. Mind you, today is the 9th or the 10th of April. April 11th. Jeez, I'm off. That being said, this is side quest 64. That's pretty corny. This is side quest 64, and I am out.